Hello. If you're into the gene keys, one of the questions that some people sometimes ask is, well, which is the most magical, powerful gene key of all? There's 64 of them. And the most magical gene key of all is the gene key that applies to your radiance. Your radiance. So in your gene key profile, there's a part 1 of the profile, as it's known, is called your activation sequence. And there are 4 gene keys in there that relate to you, and they're threaded together by a storyline. And the third one you come to is called your radiance. And you can see it when you get your free gene keys profile and you look at it, and you can see there's one sphere, a circle called radiance. And in there is a gene key that relates to you. So in that key has 3 attributes. It has a shadow, and a gift, and a siddhi. All the keys have those 3 attributes. And the shadow is your great challenge. The gift is the beauty hidden in that challenge. And the siddhi is the highest possible emanation that you're here to bring to the world, to the universe. But your radiance, this key, is the key that opens up magic in your life. It's deeply embedded in your being, and for each of us. And we have to contemplate. It's not like you just kind of get it. It's a unfolding. It's a contemplation that arises and emanates from within us, from deep within us. It's the emanation of our true higher purpose. It requires, in some sense, that a part of our ego, our kind of part of us that believes it's separate, starts to dissolve. When in the gene keys, when you look at this sequence, sometimes I look at it in reverse. If you do the program involved with it, you'll see that I do a video on it in reverse, which is about dying, right? And the reverse way through this sequence, which is what happens when we die, is this place, the radiance, is about the dissolution of our ego. So we all have to go through that when we die. There's a dissolution that takes place, but underneath it is this radiance. It's the radiance of our inner being. See, every gene key, it's called a key for a reason. A key opens a lock. And before you came into the form, before you were born, your soul closed up certain locks and set up this beautiful pattern in your life, in your dharma, as it's called, in your life story, where at certain points and moments you were predestined to unlock those locks, to find the keys that unlock those locks. And what a magical time when you unlock the key of your radiance. That's the ultimate treasure. And so the gene keys, they're a world of magic. They release magic, white magic, into the world through our radiance. Our radiance triggers the quantum field in our environment. So look at the key you have there. Look at the siddhi. Look at the highest aspect of that key. Mine is boundlessness. So they're beautiful words. So my radiance, my magical power, my superpower is boundlessness. To be able to look at anything and see its true nature as filled with any potential, anything. That's boundlessness. And that exalted, huge state of consciousness, whatever yours is, that's how you stir up the quantum field of the universe and manifest all kinds of synchronizing, elements and events and people to bring about your highest destiny, ultimately. I mean, I know I sound like a kind of classic New Ager, but it's true. The gene keys have this magical potential. So have a look at your most magical gene key, the gene key of your radiance, and come and do the activation sequence. I really recommend the program because it shows you deep how it operates, and it shows you, the kind of line number, which is the variation of that key that you have there and what it really means. It takes a bit of time. So there are multiple videos and meditations and things that help you understand and contemplate and get a hold of, well, how do I unlock magic, true magic in my life, true magic, which speeds everything up. So that's your most magical gene key. Depends on you and your profile. So take a look at the activation sequence, and you'll get to see how you unlock that key and open up the doorway to all manner of miracles.